Yo, I'm here with my brother right now, and we just tuning in for the first time, and we talking about some serious conversation right now, man. We talking about suicidal thoughts, abandonment, leadership, and family, and I think these are some of the most important things we could talk about today, because a lot of people, I feel like, is going through these things, but people walk around, like I said before, masking it and hiding it. But this is serious because suicidal thoughts alone, I feel like as a person, you should never ignore somebody, bro, when they be like, I'm feeling like harming myself, or I feel like doing. I know people, bro, that will be like, that motherfucker ain't trying to kill himself or nothing like that. That's something I don't take lightly, bro.
This is watching the show that was saying that.
A show? You said you was just watching a show that was saying that?
Yeah.
Let me turn that fan off so I could hear everything clearly. But like when a person say some shit like that, man, to you, or like, yo, I feel like killing myself, or yo, like, let's just say, for instance, when you call a person to check up on them and you like, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? He hits you with it. He keep it a buck. I'm not like what I did. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And in the process,
did I say I felt like killing somebody, or I felt like killing myself?
I'm not gonna speak on that.
I mean,
either way, for me, that's
it's crashing
shit.
out.
Yeah, that's jail shit for me. So I don't speak on stuff like that.
No, and I gotta piggyback on that, because
even if you did feel like you texted me, you told me how you wanted to kill somebody, I'm not gonna speak on that.
Right. But I think it wasn't in that sense. And that's why I brought it to the table. It was a sense of me. You know how when you're upset, and that's why I say it's a difference between suicidal thoughts and a person who's, I'm going to do that shit.
Actually,
because a person who's going to do it is like...
Because you have attempt suicides as well.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that we're speaking upon has everything to do with mental health. Because when you go through certain things in your life, certain things scar you a certain way, and that's what create the thoughts.
Right.
Your pain create the thoughts. Now, if you live your life happy and, without the negativity, then the thoughts wouldn't, it wouldn't come around.
Now, what about when you, because I feel like I was a person who never felt like I was really going to do it, but I said it so much. What do you think that can do to a person's behavior?
When you speak things into existence, it becomes the normal. Okay? The more you speak upon it, it's now a part of you.
Right.
So your thoughts and what you say every day become a part of your everyday, regimen, where it becomes a habit.
And
so
that's something I've been reading up on too, about like what you say, you really create that.
Yeah. So you create habits within yourself. You always say it, then one day you're going to eventually do it. You're not going to realize it's being done at that moment, because you're going to be so mad and caught up in yourself.
Right.
And that's selfless.
You know what I know? You know what I know that I'm capable of, that I always watch within myself, which is another thing that I feel like I connect to you with, bro, is the ability to like watch yourself, learn yourself, and know yourself. Correct. Now, I'm dealing with a situation where I got to be amongst some people in a certain amount of time, right? And I know the emotions I'm dealing with.
Correct.
I actually saw myself hurting people. You know that moment you feel right after
that's a blessing.
You do some dumb shit. You know that that feeling you feel right after you do some dumb shit? It's like the demon leave, and it's like, damn, I shouldn't have did that.
That's a blessing though.
I'm able to witness that, yo.
So it's a blessing. Let me tell you why. Because now God putting a real test in front of you to see how you're gonna operate. To see if you really was following his lead or not. Now, if you go back into the same situation and be the same person that you once was, then you're not a changed man.
Right.
Now, if you face this situation and do something totally different than what you used to doing,
or what I see myself doing,
that's because that's what you used to doing. That's
why wow.
That's why you see it, because that's the present you.
Wow.
Instead of being that present self, be you for the future.
Wow.
Because you're not gonna have nothing.
Something, bro. That's why.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
That's why I'm doing this, and now we're gonna get into it. We're gonna see. We had to warm up.
No, because I'm gonna tell you the real.
we had to warm up, but I want this to be organic, and I'm talking about my first setup.
Real, because you're my brother in real life.
Well, he just said I just learned something. Sometimes you'll think it's a premonition. Sometimes you'll think it's an intuition from God. But then it could be just you thinking about who you are. I was just thinking, I know who I am.
Right.
I'm going to pop it off. I know what I'm going to do.
You're going to pop that bottle, you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. But try fighting your demons a different way and do the total opposite. That's way. The strongest man.
But
the weakest person is going to do the same things that he used to doing. Try something outside the box, then you're really strong when you succeed at it. That's what I call a man. Remember I told you. Right. What's the first 3 letters in manage?
Man?
So a man has to manage no matter what habitat you in. Right. You create the habitat. I've been that one.
What I wanna you know what be hard for me in life? I know that I could deal with pain because I've been dealing with pain my whole life. But you know what bothers me? When I ask a person about some type of pain they was faced with years ago, and I ask them, "You still hurting from it?" And they be like, "Yeah, that shit bothers me. I don't want to hurt forever, cause it's a feeling that stops me from doing things."
You know what stops the hurting forever? When you use that same pain as motivation.
I mean, I do that now, but the pain remains. So is it gonna come a time and point where that motivation overrides the pain?
Depends on how you live your life. If you live your life doing the same things, the pain will remain. See, my pain, remember I told you I built my life in quarters, right? To deal with my pain because it never leaves. But I use it for motivation. This is why I built my life in quarters. To where when these quarters come around, I know I carry the most pain. I use it for motivation.
You know what you should be doing around this time because, that's another thing.
That's what I mean about that. And it's not going to never go away. It's just how you deal with how it comes.
When he said about dealing with life in quarters and as it comes like that, I feel like life is structured and written for us in a way, because in one way we create our universe with our thoughts, right? But then in another way, like he said, it's like a cycle every year that certain like we go through certain things. It keep repeating. I noticed that shit. It's like, and what he learned is how to catch that cycle and attack it before it happens.
Right.
But that also comes from taking leadership within yourself and putting yourself first and looking at yourself. Because you're not going to know you even dealing with a cycle if you don't look at yourself.
Correct. You got it. You got it.
So I think that's important. I want to give that to anybody who could use that right now, because there's a lot of people. You know who made a post like that yesterday? J.I., the rapper.
Right. From the Bronx?
He woke up.
Right, shout out to bro.
Shout out to bro. He woke up like, yo, listen, I know there's a lot of y'all that don't want to be here. You might feel like you got no purpose. Saying all of the right things, because a lot of people feel like that, but we walk and live with a mask. And what you blame that on, you said?
See,
there's a lot of things.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't, instead of facing your own misery, right? So they run from it. The miserable people run from misery. That's funny, right? The miserable people run from misery. The most happiest people face misery head on. Because misery don't stand a chance to somebody that's happy and peaceful. But the miserable people who steady running from misery, that's why they can't never find happiness.
That's hard. Say that again, bro. A little slower for them too, because you gotta say it again.
So I went through some things in my life, and then I've learned this, right? I'm only talking from experience. I'm talking to y'all through experience, but I'm gonna direct my conversation to him because that's my brother. And I know we have an audience, but at the same time, this is a genuine conversation between me and him, and y'all got the opportunity and the blessing to be able to sit here and watch it and listen to it. But again, the most miserable people run from misery, right? the people who have peace and found the peace in their life, right? They don't run from misery. They face it head on.
Is it because we are peaceful already? So the
Yes,
misery don't
yes,
really...
so we chase it away. You know, misery don't stand a chance. So think about, like, if you was locked and loaded in your house, you was licensed to carry, you in a state where you could bear arms, you could defend yourself. If somebody came into your house, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Defend my house.
Right. But if you was living the opposite, the first thing you're going to do is run away from the person that busts in your door.
That's a fact.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's the peaceful person that know I'm protected. My strap is here. You come in and shit, I'm going to blow you down. Excuse my
I'm at peace.
Yeah, I'm at peace.
Because I know y'all used to hearing misery loves company.
Right.
But it's bigger than that.
Right, it's bigger than that. So it's a whole full-blown circle. So when you see the misery love company, the miserable is chasing the other miserable. That person is running. And once you get caught, you trapped in that misery. It's no running from it.
Because if let's just say, right, like my soul is I got a peaceful soul and a loving soul.
Correct.
Automatically.
Correct.
So it don't mean at times I won't be at love and at peace because I'm human. But let's start with my soul. It's peaceful and it's loving, right? And so if you put me in a situation that's fucked up, that's miserable,
that's damaging your soul. That's damaging your peaceful soul.
All right, I'm just getting
now
to the...
you for the taking.
But I'm talking about that not running from it part. I really connect with that because I've been placed in so many situations amongst misery, and because I'm full of love, it don't bother me. It don't bother me. I would mostly likely try to work with the situation.
Correct.
To bring that was deep. I never heard that shit. I never heard that, bro.
Yeah.
I never knew.
These are things that I learned throughout my days and throughout my life. I've been going through it and ran from it for so long and thinking that I was trying to duck and dodge it when I needed to face it and get it away from me.
But you only faced it when you became at peace and love within yourself. You saying?
I faced it when I learned the cultures of people. Like, okay, so if you're dealing with a Latina woman, a Spanish woman, you got to understand their culture, right? They yell, they scream. There's certain things about them that you may find that will throw you off, or you may not like, or certain things.
Right.
But that's just a part of their culture, right? So when you learn, like, Africans a certain way, you learn Dominicans a certain way, you learn, African American woman a certain way, these things, then...
What about when a culture though that you learn? Because I'm very good at studying what's around me. What about when a culture that you've learned, it's not sitting well with you? It's clashing. It's clashing.
If it's not sitting well, then you have to understand that this didn't come from that one person. This came from generations. You have to look into their mother, to their grandmother, to their surroundings, how they was raised in certain things.
And then you'll be able to know how they think.
Then you'll be able to justify what went wrong.
But that's back again to, I'm going to take leadership role and genuinely and unconditionally loving a person. Let me tell you something. With my significant, the one I'm with, or the one I chose to have kids with, I pay attention to everything, and I know the past, just like she know the past of me, and as a man, I fully embraced it. Like, you see, the culture imbalances, mine's not being fully embraced. I embrace a person. Your right. I embrace your rights and your wrongs and all that.
Right, but that's where you messed up.
Where
you actually
not embrace to enable. I'm talking about. Let's just say, for instance, right. Like, because
you have givers and you have takers.
No. Let's just say, for instance, this, right? I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Something my significant don't like about me, right? Boom, will allow her to not talk to me. But it's a million things that I could point out that I may not like that you do. I don't embrace it. I'll tell you what we need to do as big homie to correct it. You know how we correct?
If she don't talk to you, that means she hates you. It's not that she don't like something about you. Because nobody that love each other can stay without talking. Even if something has went wrong.
That's crazy.
Even if something has went wrong after that argument or after whatever, y'all get back to being lovers. Y'all continue to communicate. If y'all don't communicate and y'all off like this, then that ain't love.
He said it's hate.
It's hate.
You ever been with somebody that
looking at that person? That person is grilling you the whole time. They looking at you nasty. Every time you walk past behind your back, they looking at you. You go to the bathroom, they give you a dirty look. They texting their homie. They probably texting enough anyway. I'm not gonna get that deep.
What could make a
topic?
No, stay on that topic. What could make a person, male or female, hate either or in a relationship where when a person is just
it's going back to misery.
Genuine and loving to them.
It's going back to misery. Only a miserable person is going to hate another person.
And when you fight with them, it's out of love.
Only a miserable person is going to hate another person. The people outside that's living their life, I love them. A young girl got killed. She jumped on the train or something to go do something, 24 years old. I was upset about that. The little baby threw in the river. I was hurt about that. I love these people.
Wow.
So only a miserable person is going to hate someone else.
Yeah, that's the God in you, man. That's
when
good,
you have
man.
a person who's just standing at you, looking at you a certain way, giving you dirty looks, carrying themselves a certain way around you because they upset about something? No, they really upset about their life. They just taking it out on you to make you feel guilty so you can fall in the same miserable boat and you have one paddle, they got the other. Then y'all floating down this miserable fucking lake. Anyway.
Why would I want to contaminate the whole village just because I am?
Right.
Let me tell you something.
It's culture of people too that do that.
I understand that if we both fall, then who's going hold the village down? Who's going to stand? I understand that. So I'm not gonna look. If I'm making a mistake where a mistake is a mistake, you do something wrong, but when
take
you
accountability and we move on,
and you take accountability is big. But when you consciously poke a person,
right, and look for a response,
while this person is asking for forgiveness,
that's why I
and apologizing,
I'm glad you said that.
And you constantly poke a person.
That's what I wanted to teach you.
That's crazy.
I wanted to teach you how to operate in those type of scenarios and situations.
Right.
Because you can have somebody poking a sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
You could have the giant wake up and not be the same giant that they was poking at.
Mm-hmm.
Still be bigger than that giant that once was sleeping.
Right.
They poke at the giant because they want to put you in situations.
Because they know exactly how I am. You know what will make me upset. And that's bad. That's so sad though. Yo, bro, that's like me knowing if I take your glasses and crush them, that's a trigger to something. It's gonna make that nigga want to grab his gun and go haywire. I know that for a fact.
Correct.
So I do it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
So now, you have to, that's what I said I'm trying to teach you now.
Crazy.
You have to learn how to do the total opposite of what they expected, because that's the miserable person that's going to take my glasses and break it for no reason. That's a miserable person who wants
like I would never, right? Like, look, in any situation I've ever been in a relationship or with one of my bros, right? I would never purposely. I'm not a trouble-bound person. Right. So, and I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a junkie. A person. People who I'm talking about, people who think erratic and just go off for no reason. I'm not that person. I'm very rational. Right. So if I'm dealing with a person in an irrational way or rambunctious way, it's because of so much of trying to deal with it, and it never got checked. So now I'm at that point where we gotta check it for real.
But that's what I'm trying to teach you as well.
People think what I was saying that to say. You were saying something. Damn, I kind of got tripped up. But go ahead. Yeah, but I said that to say, but it's not. It's never me intentionally or purposely inflicting pain. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And this is the situation that I'm dealing with, where people are purposely and intentionally trying to inflict pain on me.
They chastising you They testing your character.
Yeah.
They're doing everything
everything
the
they
devil.
know that bothers me and hurts.
That's the devil.
Crazy.
You call it crazy. I'm
Crazy.
gonna tell you, right? They doing it because they can. You're accessible for them to do it. That's your mistake.
Right.
If you know that's the way it goes, then separate yourself from them.
Right.
You think life stops once you separate yourself from them? No.
Right.
It continue. And you don't even know that it gets greater later.
Right. That's what my brother always told me, bro. It get greater later. It's just about dealing with it now.
Yeah, let's step over that and keep it moving.
So
right?
that's to anybody.
People, you can't let nobody have a hold on you. I lost too many things dear to me in my life. They was never promised. I had to enjoy them while they was in front of me.
Right. And also time goes, man, and it's like I'm upset now about years and years of being depressed, my nigga, and missing out on cookouts and events and shit I should have been at because of allowing people to inflict pain on me.
Because you wasn't there mentally.
Yeah.
You didn't miss out on nothing. I'm here to tell you that. Because I said to you, it gets greater later.
Right.
You didn't miss out on nothing. You just was getting your mind right for the later, things that become greater. And if your mind wasn't right in the process, you would just be wasting your time going to these places and doing these things. Don't take that away from yourself because we creating self-love.
Self-love, y'all.
So we dealing with these things as it comes because, listen, it could be a lot worse. Right. Always look at your situation as it could be a lot worse.
You know that never made me feel better, yo. But till you really be around somebody who really shit is worse, man. Like it's shit. Yeah. But
so it comes a time where you'll realize who you are and who you want to become.
I know this,
and
bro.
It's a journey.
I know this.
Journey. I'm on my journey, and that's why I'm able to speak upon it now.
I know this, and this is a fact, right? Give me another little shot.
And I'm gonna tell you now, Brody. You know me in real life. You feel me? You know I ain't gonna say that on this YouTube or whatever we on streaming service, but you know I'm a motherfucker.
Listen, I'm
a young OG. You feel me?
I learned for a fact. I'm gonna tell you, I know what I don't want and what I want. And I'm gonna say it right now. There's a lot of things I want in life, and I learned from being in long-term relationships in life. And I'm talking about with my significant and brothers. I'm the type, I love hard, so I hold on to relationships a long time, and I learned a lot from it. I learned that I just want to be around real people in my life. I want to be around genuine people, a person that's not going to wear a mask, a person that's going to love me for who I am, and nobody that's going to judge me. When I'm with a woman, I want her to get my all, my whole. When I say my all, no mask, I'm a faithful man. Once I'm into you, my focus is directed on you, one person, and I just want love. Anybody that don't want to be around me, I'm talking about for the right reasons, to support me the right way, I don't want to be around them because, like I told my mother, we the same. We find ourselves always trying to chase to be around the wrong kind of people, and at the end of the day, now that we in fourth quarter, it's just me and her. We got none of those people counted. Nobody is around. So don't waste your time, bro, trying to be around people who don't want to be around you. That's what I'm saying.
I'm here. I've been with this guy over 30 years, over 35 years.
And everything always come back around full circle.
Over 35 years I've been with him and his mother. Feel me? And I'm still here.
I can't shake him. When I left the ex, who was the first nigga from the ex? I mean, that guy with me in Harlem.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
And that's yo, bro. That's my genuine shit, bro. You already know, bro.
Yeah, we was back and forth. HBO too, and he really from the Bronx, but he went down to Harlem and had things twisting and turning down there. So we created some braids.
My thing is this, right? Let me tell you what I love about this guy. He came to see if I'm up, not make sure I'm down. He came to see to make sure I'm up, and if I'm not up, to lift me up, not to make sure I'm still down. And it's a difference. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I don't mind telling my problems to everybody, because that's just me. I'm a kid inside. I would never think I'm gonna tell this person this and he gonna like that
stab me
shit.
in my back.
I wouldn't think that. I'm innocent at heart.
Right.
You know, and I realized that ain't for everybody, bro. You know when somebody is genuinely for you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a text, niggas in the whip and he's here. And I'm talking about after not building and I don't build with him every day, all day.
Nah.
You know, but sometimes in life, once you build one bond, you build it, that shit is forever. And that shit been in the park.
I just told you.
The park.
Since we was kids. We was throwing rocks and we was playing hold up the slide.
Seriously, I
hanging
really,
on the monkey bars, paws.
I really don't play about people like this in my life, and especially at this time. At this time, because
and then you could look into my other.
I'm serious, bro. I really don't play about people like that in my life because it's hard to find that. And you find that, you got that shit.
And I've been on mad different blocks in Harlem with them.
You whole lot, you know?
And I don't know, should I shout out the projects, but I can tell you all the projects I've been stepping through in Harlem with them. You hear me?
Yo, if you want to say one thing to let them out on what we talked about, I'm about to end it. Because we did it.
This is what I want to do for my people, because I'm a people person, right? I'm a people pleaser. This is the thing. We all as one have to take accountability, number one. Take denial out of it. Once you face whatever it is that you're facing in life, you'll find a solution. Each problem have a solution. When you create a certain environment in your mind that you're going to get through it, you believe it. You achieve it. What you believe in, you achieve it. Let's take it out like this. Hey, look. What you scared of might be your best blessing.
Ooh. Wow. That's probably why we fear it so much. I'm telling you. Just because it's your best blessing. That's powerful.
Listen, face all your fears. Your troubles become nothing when you face it with integrity.
Yo, if y'all got something positive out of this, and if y'all didn't get something positive out of it, please hit like, subscribe, and still share the video so we can bring y'all some more of this content. You feel me?
And this is just a regular conversation. This ain't nothing like that. It's a regular conversation. We out of here.
This was a good one.